of the United States. They've always had an economic interest in the Middle East. 62% of all their oil comes from the Middle East. A geopolitical influence is what this door is opening for China, and that is our concern. And why is this happening? Because the United States is pulling away from the Middle East. The Arabs got the word when the Biden administration came in. They shut down the arms deals that were being brokered at the time. They pulled away from the Abraham Accords that the previous administration and Prime Minister Netanyahu at the time had brokered with Israel, which was absolutely a paradigm geopolitical shift in the Middle East towards something that was very positive. So yes, this is the concern that all of us have in looking at it.
Okay.
But then I'll tell you something. The
Please.
Arabs go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
The Saudi Arabia, I mean, I've known this country for a long time. They still want to have a close relationship with the United States. They eventually will want to normalize relations with Israel. They're probably chess players here a little bit, and they want to leverage the United States in terms of eventually getting a security agreement, remove any restrictions on arms sales, and also help them with nuclear power in terms of energy development. That is where the Saudis really want to go. And while this deal with China is obvious what it is, they're moving closer to them. At the end of the day, they still want to have a close relationship with the United States, and they want the United States to help enforce their security. I believe we can get back to that in time, but this administration is going to have to step up and pay some attention to what is actually happening in the Middle East.
We're about 90 seconds away from the market open today, and of course we're going to pay a lot of attention to that. But before that, let me just show you this Gallup poll on America's views on China. It's a record low of 15% of Americans who view China favorably. That's down 38 points in the last 5 years. And does that, I mean, that might actually be the most bipartisan thing we could all agree on in the country right now, sir.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And this is a good thing, the fact that there's consensus among the American people. It energizes the Congress certainly to act, and hopefully the administration as well. That is the kind of polling we had when we were dealing with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And this is very different what we're dealing with. China's ally is Russia. It's their #1 ally. And there is a war in Europe involving Russia. And China is moving towards a war in the Indo-Pacific region. We don't want it to happen. We want to deter it. But that kind of polling is very helpful in moving the Congress and moving the administration in the right direction to prevent war, is what we're trying to do here.
And no doubt the Chinese pay attention to that, even though they might say that they don't pay attention to polls, but that one would probably be an eye-opener for them as well. General Jack Keane, thank you. We will get back to